I'm Emma Williamson. I have been sea swimming, or basically on beaches where I was a bairn, because I was born in Larwick and then went to live in Shetland. And then, funnily enough, went to the Isle of Wight. But it's always been literally, I could walk as a bairn to get to a beach at any age. I'm really into poetry as well, and I love like old Shetland poems, but I also like some of the more modern stuff. And I'm just going to leave this up for a minute for you guys to have a read of. It's one of my favourite poems, and I think it absolutely sums up what it is about winter, and it's okay to actually just to take it easy, just go with the flow. Sometimes I go to the beach and I didn't even swim if I feel the water doesn't look right. My body doesn't feel like I'm able to go in that day. And that's just what wintering is. You're no lazy, you've got limited daylight. So yeah, just basically nature is simply pulling you slow. So I'll keep going. So this is me at Maywick in winter, and I decided to try and get a photo of myself with my eyes open under the water. It was fine, but I would recommend you wear goggles, because actually my eyesight was a bit wonky for a little while after, just with actual cold on my eyeballs. So, but this, and you actually can't see that well with your normal eyes, you really need goggles. The water at this time of year is a lot clearer, so that's another plus for having a look under the water at this time of year, because obviously in the summer we've got a lot more plankton and seaweed and things on the go. This is one of my favourite things. I think it was one of the Christie boys did this. So this is basically anatomy of a Shetlander, and I just love it. And of course, we are in Rand season now, and it's a bit like Marmite. You either love them or hate them. I love them. And up Hellier coming, there'll be lots of roasted mutton on the go as well. So I have a bit of an analogy. I align myself to a Shetland pony, which is pretty kind of chalk, hairy, and goes out in our weathers. So yeah, I think that would be my spirit animal, to be honest. This is just a quick disclaimer, just to say this is my opinions and what I do. I'm not taking responsibility for anybody who listens to this and decides to take to the sea and something happens to them. You're responsible for yourself. Some of the pictures of me swimming are taken for some of my friends who've been out swimming with me, and just to say a thank you for them for the images. So don't be scared to go out in winter, but just kind of stay safe. So when you're setting out on your journey, you don't have to seek advice from those who've never left home, and I really like that. So you're probably better, if you're going to go out and swim and you're not really sure what you're doing, to actually speak to other swimmers and locals about beaches, and use the Selkies page and people that you know who've maybe swum at that beach before. A lot of people will have comments and things to make and say places are safe, but they've never maybe even swam there, or they're listening to kind of historical stuff about the beach. So yeah, just make sure it's your journey and it's a safe one. So early years, as I said before, I was spent till about 3 or 4. I was in Fetler, photos of me on the links there, which is the great big sandy beach. I mean, I'm sure we were platching about in the Shourmill and stuff there, but not really swimming per se. I actually learned to swim when I was 3. My dad was an avid swimmer, and I learned at 3, and I actually taught my brothers and sisters to swim at that pool as well. My little sister was a complete nightmare. Just to learn to swim, the other 3 were much easier. Just putting it out there, Katrina. Then just with family circumstances and things, I actually moved to the Isle of Wight and went to primary school in Gurnard, and we had a beach hut, and our school actually had a swimming pool. So I was really lucky, because I was just always in water and near the water. And when I was about 7, then we get to Malta with my granny and granddad, and they said all that they saw was my backside. because I just spent the whole time in the water. So I think it's probably been in me just to be in or near water all my life. If I wasn't near it or able to go to a beach and things like that, I would really miss it. This is just actually a picture of one of our beach huts at Gurnard. Very different swimming there. It's in the Solent in the Isle of Wight. It's quite murky and clay and a lot warmer as here. And it's actually, I love a beach hut. We'll probably get like blown over here and destroyed, but it's great when you come out the water to have shelter and a cup of tea, but you can do that in a different way here. So I swam a little in the summer, but so I rediscovered swimming when my friend told me that her son had a brain tumour and I really wanted to do something. I felt quite kind of hopeless. And we were walking in the nab and we were actually in tears, the kids were playing, and then just at that point I looked over to Bressa and I said, I'm going to organise a charity swim to Bressa to raise money. And she was like, she's from Yorkshire, she's like, oh, you're mad, Emma. And I was like, and then I thought, no, I'm actually going to do this. So we kind of set up a group, and it was 19 of us did the Bressa to Lerwick swim, and at that point I was in a wetsuit, and we raised about 19,000 I think, and we split it 3 ways to Click Sergeant, MRI scanner for the NHS, and for the Lerwick lifeboat, and then the Selkies Facebook was born, and it's remained. We unfortunately didn't get together, but maybe that's something that we need to think about. We were thinking about doing another swim, possibly coming into the summer for raising some more money. So we'll see if it happens. This is a photo of us. It was 2014. You can recognise the zebra barge at Hintwist. God, seems a lifetime away. But it was actually all the organising and training and everything and the camaraderie. It was absolutely brilliant. What a laugh we had. And thanks to everybody that helped and joined in. It's just a picture of the sort of Selkies logo, and you'll find us all on Facebook, and lots of people who are visiting and want to swim join. It's really good resource for people. There's usually somebody that answers, and there's people on there that you can say, oh, I want to go swimming on Saturday morning at 9, and then somebody go, oh yeah, I'll meet you at Baines at 9 or whatever. So that's your kind of local go-to. So now we're going to move on to kit. So kit for land, you need, this is what I personally have. There is an array of wetsuits out there, just to say some are more environmentally friendly and others like all the kit. But I'm an avid kind of recycle, use natural stuff, because actually, one, to keep you warmer, and two, it's just better for the environment. I usually have merino, however you say it, base layers, thermal joggers, a Worset Gansey, or a thermal onesie, which I actually got a second hand from a pal who got a new one because he's on the lifeboat and he gave me his old one, so it's fab. I would love a Fladden, but they are like rather expensive. Swimming jackets, again, hundreds and millions of them. If you're swimming in Shetland, you want a long sleeve, you want a waterproof one, and you want a windproof one. Dry robe, oh, there's a whole thing, AKA dry robe. Can't say it's a swear word, but there is tons out there, and some of them might actually be better for the environment than the actual dry robes, but they're all doing sort of better ones, I think, because people are looking for more environmentally friendly stuff, and we don't want to leave anything but a footprint and no microplastics on the beach. But to be honest, a decent winter jacket that's windproof, get a second-hand enough vintage. It's a couple of sizes too big for you. That will do the job. You don't have to pay. I think I looked at one, I read the original one, I thought, oh, I'd love that. And it was nearly 300 quid. And I was like, no, that's not happening. I'll get me Fladden before I get that. So just see what suits. You look at the ethics. There's ones that you can return once you've hid them for a while and they get a bit knackered, and they actually give them to homeless people. That's a company in Wales. So yeah, have a look. Now, certain things I definitely wouldn't be out is my Rivlins, which is Worset socks. The LHD is Norwegian lamb's wool socks, and They're brilliant, so warm, but you need your wellies a size bigger to get them on. But I'm a huge fan of over the knee socks. They are my favourites. And if you've got like big calves like me, courtesy of 33 years in the NHS on your feet, then you're going to need ones with big calves. And I think they're called snag tights. They do ones for like all sizes. So go there. If you've got big calves and chunky legs like me. Wellies, I've actually just bought myself a pair of fur-lined wellies and I absolutely adore them. I wore them right the way through the snow and I was actually loath to give them up and go back into normal shoes. So yeah, wellies are fine. Just get yourself a good pair of wellies for the beach. Now, this is my kit bag at the beach because it's windy. Now your stuff will blow away. So what you need is some decent stones to chuck your kit in and a waterproof bag because nothing worse is coming out in your clothes is cold and wet. And again, you can pick these up for various companies and just look, some of them are probably made out of recycled plastic and stuff. Really good company I use is called Lomo and they're based in Glasgow. They have wetsuits for all sizes, loads of kit bags, really good quality, and they do not cost the earth. So yeah, have a look there. This is a photo I took of my kit. So here is the fur-lined wellies. Yins me about a litre of warm fluid. I usually have the Tea Pigs chili chai with lemon juice and honey and a good whap of honey in it because you need the sugar. And I get that kind of stuff for the scoop in the tune. Second-hand gloves, the Worset Gans and my mum knitted. Jilly Bridal gifted me that bag for my kit and there's my rivlins hanging over the back of them. Thermal vest and thermal long sleeve there. That is a gull one, but I Marana ones, they're really warm. The hat and the cowl's fur lined and I knitted them myself. Brilliant, Shetland Worset, can't beat it. Cheap towel and robe for, I think it was actually Primark. I don't really like to say that because there can be a bit dodgy, but it was really cheap. But I'll use it till it gets holes in it, so I don't feel too bad. And thermal leggings. I think that's our thing in the picture. That's me with a really attractive hat on, but you really need something to kind of cover your head and your fists. If it's really windy and cold, you can see the waves in the background, lifeboat. So like, because you're slightly hypothermic when you come out, you think you're warm for like about 30 seconds and then the wind chill will hit you and that is your nemesis. It will chill you down so fast. So I don't actually, you can tell by that photo, I actually don't care what I look like as long as it's warm and it does what it says in the tin, and I'm going to use it to literally it fires off me, so I'm no being wistful of stuff. Now, these were absolute bargain find. I found 2 pairs of Rivlins in the charity shop, handmade socks, and I gave one to my pal Yvonne and one to me, and then so it's at Sandsoon. Absolutely brilliant. So look into charity shops, look on Vinted, look on eBay, wherever, Shetland classifieds, and you'll pick stuff up. Or if you've got like a granny or a mum or somebody who likes knitting, get them to knit you stuff because it's by far the warmest. There's again, Yins the old LHD lamb's wool Norwegian socks, and they are leggings which I knitted myself as well. I love leggings, like, and leg warmers. They're brilliant, keep you really warm. And Shetland wool, it is the warmest. The sheep keeps my sheep warm, or yours warm, and it'll keep you warm as well. So and layer up. Don't just go for one thing. I usually leave the beach with about 4 layers on. So yeah, there it is. Oh, I forgot to say, there's a lass out west that makes wearable hot water bottles with like a little kangaroo pouch as well. I can put this links up on my Instagram. So, and they are absolutely brilliant because once your hands are warm, you get your dexterity back and you're able to get your clays and stuff on a lot faster. So getting in, eat. It's false not to eat before you swim, especially in open water. All the people that I take out, and this is even in summer, that faint and feel dizzy and feel really wonky after being underwater have not had anything to eat. You need fuel, and you need fast burning, and you need slow burning fuel. You're going to go through a lot of energy shivering. Can't mind the statistics, Google it, you'll find it, but a colossal amount. I think on an average swim, I can go burn between, I think, 500 to 1,000 calories, and that's not even doing that much. Pick a sheltered spot that you're going to get changed in and get changed out and into your clays, because again, that wind chill is going to get you. That red costume that you saw me wearing was £16 recycled costume for Asda. You don't have to buy expensive kit if you're savvy about it. Go in slow, and you will adjust as you go in. A lot of people I've had people have tiny, they go in and they literally run out as fast as they go in. They're just like, oh my goodness, no way, no. But actually, you will have a period where you adjust and that's you. I mean, you've come from a warm situation and you're throwing yourself into cold and into water. So just let your body adjust and then probably come out. Some people will last 40 seconds and come out. There's a big thing about timings, about being in the water. I don't really do timings when I'm in the water. I don't measure temperatures. I am measuring my distance at the moment because I'm doing charity stuff for RNLI. But normally I just go in and I read my body, and I try not to, if I'm at all unsure, I'll come out early, is what I'm trying to say. So just, you don't want to get hypothermia because it really will make you feel pretty rotten, and that'll probably kill you before drowning will. So go to the Outdoor Swimming Society and get more advice. They've got loads of safety stuff, so does RNLI. But I think Outdoor Swimming Society is more for like swimmers. So yeah, and ask on Selkies. Go wee people initially if you've not done it before. Yeah. Always plan that you can get in and out safely. So I sometimes go off the Slits Pier, but as soon as you go off the Slits Pier, you're way out your depth, and it's a bit of a scramble to get out. And I still had the scratch marks on my thighs and my buttocks from the other day when I managed to script myself trying to get in and out in the snow. So but I knew it would be like that, but you didn't want to be in a situation where you're going to struggle to get out and you're cold. So initially I would say sandy beaches, sandy bottoms, walk in, walk out. Yeah, just be sensible. That is my kit that I wear. That's my recycled swimming costume. Those goggles are brilliant, or goggles that shape, because you've got good all-round vision with them. I use a little bit of baby shampoo so they don't mess up. I have earplugs because the cold water in your ears can make you dizzy. So you didn't want that, and you didn't want to feel sort of faint or dizzy when you come out. Plus there's a thing called swimmer's ear, and it's some ancient old thing to do. The bones in your ears can start to grow with the cold water, and you have to get an operation on your ears. So you didn't want that. I'll let you Google it. There's information about it. So yeah, get yourself some earplugs and a decent neoprene hat, and that's just a bog standard swimming hat, as bright as you can, so folk can actually see you in the water. I'll not tell you any of the horror stories to put you off, but once I'd close shave at Haler, and we gied over to the other side swimming. It was quite rough. There was a crab boat, and the boats moved pretty fast in water than you think. But the worst was I had to swim back, and I've never swam back so fast in all my life because I was absolutely petrified that a boat came. So that's just an example of being sensible, and that's probably for a more experienced swimmer. But obviously I'm not that experienced, so I would have had the wit to let somebody know that I was going to swim across the flow. But hey ho, there you go, you live and learn. Post-swim ritual, have your kit ready to get back on quickly, in a dry bag, I was saying with Lomo, and a bright colour, because if you're out at sea and it's a dark day and you've got your bright bag, you sort of have a fixation point where you need to get out, so you're not in the wind, you're coming right out the water, right to your kit. I have mine systematically layered in my bag so I can put it on and work my way through the bag. You need to be quick and you need to get your core warm. Your wind chill is your nemesis. So water temperature, maybe 4, a air temperature of, say, I don't know, 1, you're going to have a wind chill of about -4, -5. So be really aware of that. I have a hot water bottle in my kit. I have hot drinks and cake, and these are essential items. Okay, sugarier the better. No being good on days you're swimming. That's why I swim a lot, because I don't have any good days. This is my kit. This is out the west somewhere. Yin's me been gathering my warm up and cool down is often gathering rubbish off the beach. So it's a good way to do something for Shetland and the environment. And Yin was a fine day, so I kind of had my kit sort of laid out. So and you can see the tang there as well. I would say walking on pebbles and tang, be careful as well going in, because obviously the heights vary and it's very easy to go to your ankle and slide and things like that. So even though I usually go barefoot, in areas like that I would often have maybe a pair of swim shoes or boots on. It's easier to get in and out. And if it's been snowing, I didn't go in my bare feet because my feet would be frozen before I got in the water. So you just do what you do, and according to the environment and the day. So that's me filling my face with cake. My cake of choice is an iced fruit cake. Where's Yin at? I'm not entirely sure, actually. I'm looking at that front. Might be Mel Beach, yeah, or Min, somewhere. Could even be the edge of Min. I'm not sure.
Leavenwick.
Might be. Gosh, I'll have to study it after. I was like firing photos up like mad, not really paying attention to where I was. So yeah, love it. Iced fruit cake. Yin's me kit laid out. Yin's Fair Isle. The Yin bag's great because I can actually stand in it as well. Swim shoes and just a pretty chat about movement of water. So this is an old pier here. So the movement of water sort of is actually different on each sides of this pier. And depending on the air and the wind, the water can move in different ways. So what might feel safe on one side, it can be quite different to the other side of the beach. So just kind of be aware of that. But you'll feel it in the water once you get used to it. And I always say, trust your gut. If you think actually I'm not comfortable, come out, because the other risk is if you have a panic attack in the water, that is really not a good thing to have because it'll affect your breathing. And if you feel at all panicky, I would say just get out. Just don't take any chances if you don't feel that 100%. I've seen me go places and think actually I'm not up for it today, or go in and say it feels a bit funny and come out. And sometimes I go in and think, oh, this is great, and I only mean to swim for 5 minutes and I end up being in for longer. Obviously it varies during the year. Winter you're much shortened because of the temperatures. Me in the car, frozen, having a cuppa. That's my robe I got cheap somewhere, and it looks like I should be in Hawaii, but yeah, I think it was at Piri Spiggy actually. Me and Gillian tucking into that iced fruit cake again. Smock, that's a really good one. They give when you finish with your jacket, they give it to the homeless. I couldn't mind the name of the company. Ian's big bobble hats, they're great. The winter ones are thermal lined as well. That's I knitted that neck warmer that I've got on there. Yep. Where do I go? Anywhere and everywhere. It depends mainly on weather. Weather apps I use all the weather apps. I'm absolutely obsessed with weather. I use Gilberwick Weather, XC, Windy, Met Office, BBC, and I sometimes have been known to message Fair Isle as well to get a few tips for them. Where I fancy, sometimes I think, gosh, the air wind's good and I've not been somewhere for ages, and I go. And then sometimes I'm a bit obsessed with maps as well, proper Ordnance Survey maps, paper ones, and they really make a lovely crunchy noise, which really annoys your husband when he's trying to watch darts. So it's a win-win there. And I study a lot of maps and look at beaches and potential beaches and places that I go to walks. I walk a lot to where I'm going as well. Who's coming with me? So everybody's like, you must take somebody when you go swimming. And I would say yes. if you're at all nervous or you're new to it and things like that. But sometimes I do go in by myself, but I'm really quite careful. I don't go to my depth. It's always usually make sure it's somewhere that's quite calm. Again, and that's my personal choice and my personal risk. I always have kit with me in my bag if I'm out walking or in the boot of the car, just in case I decide I want to go swimming. So yeah, I'm always kind of ready for it. So again, this is just some pictures of where I go. I think it's maybe Scoosborough. Yeah, oh no, it's maybe Ninians actually, I'm not sure. It's hard to see, but I like the angle. So obviously it's been rough because you're in a bit of tang's been speared into the sand. This is Gillian out swimming with me. I think it's possibly Sands Sound. This is doing it Nesbister. So a lot of times as well, it's not just being in the water, it's the calm and the light, especially in winter, you get lovely light and how the light shines through the water as well. Here's a recent one for going in at the Nab with the snow. And actually one year I was sitting and somebody took a photo of me swimming they were sledging with their bairns on the Nab. So I quite like that. You get the odd photos that folk take you didn't realise, which is quite fun. Here was one, me and Nick, he took me out in the boat and we were fishing, and then he said, do you want to go in and swim? And I was kind of like, yeah, okay. So off I did and swam in at the Drong. So that was quite an experience. Beautiful, actually, really memorable swim. Yin's me getting whapped in the fist with a wave. Yin's actually, Yin was doing it slits, me and Emma, a few years ago, and it was actually, what's the word I'm looking for, when the moon covers the sun? Eclipse. An eclipse. Yeah, so we decided we'd go in when there was an eclipse. So sometimes it's quite different under the water with different lights and different things going on. So we like to swim when there's things that are a bit different outside and underneath. So Yin's actually quite shallow, but you can see by looking at it, it's beautiful. So you don't have to go in deep or anywhere like really exciting. There's a lot to see, loads of colours, lots of seaweeds and wildlife to be seen. Actually in the shallows, Yin's probably only up to about me, just above my knees. I'll probably script my hands in the sand, pull myself along, but just once you're in, you just do whatever makes you feel good. So monsters in the deep, question I get asked all the time. Oh, how can you bear it? It's so dark and something's going to get you and I hate the weed and blah, blah, blah. But actually, that's not the issue. What is going to get you is hypothermia and drowning and overcooking it. So just be sensible. Yin's me swimming. Yin was actually in the Western Isles last year. Swimming along, somebody else took the photo and I obviously wasn't aware that there was a large saris swimming underneath me. Jellyfish, you can go online and look at jellyfish in Shetland. A lot of them don't actually sting, or if they do, they're very mild. I get stung every year, and I'm sure it might be different for different folk, but I didn't really find it terribly bad. I'm sure if I swam into that, it would be bad, if you know what I mean. But if you've got your goggles on, your wits about you. The other thing, a jellyfish are seasonal, so and they vary from year to year. This year, I've hardly seen a saris in Shetland, and over the past few years, the jellyfish are really changing, and I don't know if that's to do with climate change, but I would imagine it is. There are absolutely loads of saris out at the Western Isles, but I hardly saw one the past 2 or 3 years. So that is the snout of a selkie, and yes, they do get close and swim around you. Some beaches they're more friendly than others, but I've been swimming for a long time and I've never been bitten. I've never been scared. I've had a few really very close encounters, and initially when they appear right next to you, I'm kind of like, oh right, you're there. But I didn't really feel scared by them or feel threatened in any way. So don't be scared of the selkies. I actually love them, and I actually feel that I'm never alone when I do go swimming because there's usually one around, and I quite like their company. So this is another jellyfish. This one doesn't sting, but you can see under the water, like they're beautiful. They're like chandeliers, absolutely stunning, amazing creatures. We swim in. I've found a newfound love of a lot of various things in nature, and jellyfish are one, so elegant in the water, fascinating creatures. Fish, lots of fish. And they do ping off your legs and things sometimes, but do not get a fright. Sand eels are probably some of my favourite things to see in the water. They move like in a swarm, and they're beautiful. They look silvery and glintering in the sun, absolutely fabulous. And you get them in the shallows, so anybody can really see them. The other thing people think is that a conger eel is going to come out of a rock and take a chunk out your leg. I've never seen a conger eel at all in all my years swimming. I'm sure they're there. I've been Shetland and blue eels, but I've never seen one. So don't let that put you off. Or if you are scared of that, just stick to sandy bays. Don't go near the rocks and the tang until you maybe feel a bit more confident, and introduce yourself and really gently to that. Crabs, August is the time for crabs, and actually this past year has been loads of them. I've seen more of the, oh gosh, the red crabs. They've got a funny name, but they can be quite kind of aggressive. But I mean, yeah, they might give you a nip, but I mean, if you've got your goggles on, you'll see them. They're mostly, we have not seen really massive ones unless you go really deep. But if you're just kind of putting around in the shallows, they're really no that bad. And lobsters and things like that with big claws, yes, they're there, but again, you need to go in quite deep. If you're on a sandy bottom, you're not going to see them. It's not something that I see regularly, but I'm worried about when I'm swimming, to be honest. Cold, so cold, but actually kind of warm. So we're 6 degrees north, and then we're in line with Alaska, Greenland, and St. Petersburg, but we have a North Atlantic drift, which is actually the Gulf Stream, which keeps temperatures on line, they say, between 4 and 15 degrees Celsius. But it's actually not that straightforward, of course not. So we've gone up, I think, by 2 degrees this summer, our sea temperatures, which is a bit worrying. I am seeing changes in the sea around here. Also, when you're swimming in winter, if I want to swim and basically have like a 0 or minus degree swim or something like that, somewhere where there's a reasonable burn that empties near to a beach will take that sea temperature way down. And when you're swimming, you can swim through it. So you'll swim through it, it feels kind of a bit warmer, and then you'll swim through it, and then it'll suddenly the temperature will drop, and it'll be probably the fresh water if it's coming like iced kind of loch or whatever. And different beaches, I can swim on one side, so you've got the North Sea obviously on one side and Atlantic on the other, and different beaches in Shetland will have different sea temperatures. I actually find St Ninian's quite cold, Leavenworth is quite cold, Min is usually quite warm, but there'll be all sorts of things contributing to that. If you're swimming in and around seaweed, it tends to be warmer. Locals will tell you as well, oh, we tap the burns and swim on yon beach because it's warmer as swimming on that beach. So just be aware of that when you're going in. Different beaches do have different temperatures. I mean, I've scored temperatures down to like 2 and 0 degrees. So don't believe everything you read online is what I'm saying as well. And if the burn is emptying, you'll have a different movement of water there as well. So just be aware of that. She believed she could, but she was freezing, so she did. Yes, she did. So basically, it is going to be cold. Just walk in. You might just walk in, experience the cold, and walk out, and that's fine. But just go and try it. It's not for everybody. A bit like a 100-meter sprint is not for me. Gymnastics is not for me. Lots of other sports isn't for me. But being swimming and in nature is just what I like to do, and people just find their niche. So yeah, but you shouldn't shame people and make them feel bad for whatever they want to do as well. So yeah, I'll go on to that a bit more. Here was me in the snow. I was blowing out air to see the mist when I blew it, and my pal was in with me, who was in a wetsuit and was really worried that I was going to get too cold actually. And I was like, every few minutes I was shouting, I'm fine, I'm fine. But obviously they can stay in longer if you're in neoprene. That's just how it is, rather than skins. Me and Katrina, with the recent snow, we got asked if we would do a little bit for the news, so we did, and I basically swam every day. But I did wear socks and shoes, mainly because of the wind chill and the climbing in and out, and my feet would get really cold. So, but I'm not wearing them now that the snow's gone. So that's me in the water, and above was a complete blizzard. So it's like the whole contrast between what you get underneath the water to what you get on the top. And I'm absolutely obsessed with movement of water and light in water. I absolutely love watching it. So calming. When you're in awe, like you don't have a phone, nobody can get a hold of you, and you're watching around you, you're probably a bit hyper vigilant about what's going on around you. And once you settle into it, you can just really enjoy the colours and the light and the patterns and stuff. Ian's the sun breaking, it slits, Ian's and the either incoming or outgoing Moody. Not sure, Ian's me just floating about, seeing what's going on. So body image, it's for everybody. It teaches you to care less about having the perfect image and be in nature and surrender yourself, which will give you much more happiness and clarity about what's important in life. Wear what you want, what enables you to go into the water. And that might be similar to what I wear. It might be neoprene vest, it might be neoprene wetsuit. Just wear whatever you want that makes you comfortable in the water. Some people go and swim, some people just walk in and walk out, some people paddle. It's just as long as you get yourself there and enjoy it and see it. Even if you don't go in, you're in your wellies looking down, you'll see stuff. So yeah, just and don't care about your size. I mean, I've never been skinny, never will be. I said I was about I'd come in, I was about 8 pounds or something when I was born, and I just said I never looked back. So and it actually does you a favour in some ways, because you've got a bit more insulation. Being female gives you a bit more insulation. Probably a lot of women swim, a lot of women find it helpful, menopause and things like that. So yeah, just don't care about how I look, really. It's all about getting in and enjoying it. I like this quote: I swim because I love my body, not because I hate it. And it's basically, you need, it's for yourself. It's not to be skinny, it's not to an image or whatever. I do it because I love it. I love being in the water, and I think it's good for my body. So yeah, just do it for yourself. Seaweed, you'll learn to love it. It's amazing and beautiful, and it's not coming to get you. And it's also, like, for the planet, like for CO2 and stuff, it is just like an amazing thing. So what I've done here is put a few pictures together. That is the dreaded seaweed touching the leg, and you think you've been attacked by jaws, but you haven't. It's the tiniest bit of seaweed. And even me, when I first went in, I would go in and I would be like, something would touch me and I would be like yelping and go, oh, what's in? But it's same as everything. The more you do it, the more you expose yourself, the more you see the colours, the more you love it, and the more you can just enjoy it. This is me with Billy, and he got some photos of me swimming over some of the tang beds at Leavenwick. This was just a few, maybe a month or two ago, and you can see the colours and the pattern, and yeah, it's just amazing. There's still quite a lot of fish around. This day, actually, it was a really stormy day, like really stormy, and we went to go and swim at the marina at Coningsburgh because we thought it'd be sheltered and there'd be lots of good things to see there, and it was like swimming through Bristol gravy. So we tootled out, and I said, let's go, we'll just head into Leavenwick, and I think it'll be sheltered there, and that's where we guide. So it just shows you, like, going from one place to the next. Other places were so stormy, there's just no way you could have got in. So in the winter as well, you get these the seaweed changes colour a bit like forests. So, and there's this is my favourite colour of seaweed. You get loads of this colour of seaweed at Min, and I absolutely love it. It's like luminous orange. This was actually, I think, for that winter's day, this is me swimming through seaweed, sort of swimming out. And again, it's just taken years of getting used to swimming in seaweed to be able to swim through big forests of seaweed. I quite like this. So it's kind of the lonely piece of tang, but I do like the colours in the background and how it moves in the floor of the water. It moves through the water and on the seabed. More colours of tang, light, and this is just to give you a variety of colours in seaweed. This is tang beds. So the other thing in the winter, these beds start pulling back. So a bit like if trees lose leaves, the tang beds with the stormy weather in the winter and no having the same sunlight, they start to retreat. So you actually can see right down to the rock bed, and you can see lots and lots of things, which I'll come on to. I love this photo. Just so fiery, so much colour under the water to be seen. There again, it's really shallow, like really super shallow, and just how the light refracts down to the sea, through to the sand, just really bony. This is a Fair Isle. Doing swimming at Fair Isle, and behind me was, I think, about 16 seals. So, and yeah, just you can be swimming, it seems quite dark, and the sun comes out, and then that's what happens. You're just there in the moment. So underwater garden, it's just a beautiful landscape when it's waiting, and you never know what you might see. So this was just yonder before Christmas, and that is an onion, and that is a kind of a bit of a jellyfish. So a lot of times you can see it's quite murky in the background, and a lot of times it can be quite murky if it's been quite stormy and stuff. I love these starfish. So just to let you know, with Valentine's Day coming up, it's mating season for starfish around Valentine's Day, and they are like, basically it's a starfish orgy. And if you go out, then you can see them. You don't have to go in that deep, but if you can somewhere there's a lot of starfish, you can go and see them around Valentine's Day. I always think it's kind of romantic. Look close and pay attention. So even in the shallows, so this, you can see them a pretty fish hiding, and they often blend in really well to the environment. So I've seen these guys in this kind of very tangy colours, are quite white. They're a pretty bit like chameleons. So, but you have to look closer. You just wouldn't see them, and you also don't know what to step on one of them because it might be a bit sore. So this, you would just think, oh, it's a bit of seaweed, but it's actually a pipefish. And I hardly ever seen one, so, or I probably have, I've just not realised. But fascinating creatures, reminded me of seahorse, seems it sounds a sound. Now this is, somebody tell me what this is, and I can't mind what it is, but it is some kind of eggs. It looked a bit like plastic, but you almost like just rattled up on the beach at Ninians. The good thing about having a camera is you can take a photo and then you can ask somebody after what it is. Flowers and gear. So look around the beach. There's so much to enjoy, like old man's beard, feathers, berries, birds, colours, all around the beach and in the shore and all everywhere. And often things have a connection, like I'll see a rock and then later on there'll be a sunset, and the strip of granite through the rock reminds me of the sunset. You pay a lot of attention to the seasons, stuff that you can't read or anything like that. You just have to see it. So things like, I mind last year, conversations with Claire and Kenny up north saying, oh, the Shalders, they're early this year, and Laverick song, and you think, oh gosh, in summer coming, I'm heard Laverick this morning. I think about fluers. As soon as I see a Banks fluer, I always take a photo of the first Banks fluer. Often the first fluer I'll see is a common violet. That's often the first ones that I see. They're tiny and they're beautiful. You often see them near where burns are or waterfalls and things like that. but I can even smell it sitting here. It's just in way you're walking along the banks, you smell the banks floor, and you can smell the maize, and you can smell the tang. And it actually is probably a bit of a minging smell, but I actually love it. It's a kind of a sweet, kind of a musty smell, and it's just the best. So you can reflect on things as you walk around in winter as well. Stuff I do at the beach if I have time. This is all just shells I found on the beach. Them was actually in the Western Isles, but they'd such bony shells on the beach, all different colours. So, and I had time, and I just did that. Just mindless stuff to do, just good. The Floor Park. So I'm not always at the beach, but I would say if you're wanting to get out and about, go to the Floor Park. This is my favourite bush in the Floor Park, because it's so bright red. It's like a little wood burner in the corner. So I wandered a few times in the snow in the Floor Park, and I just love it. Even though like the landscape can be quite brown and kind of sandy coloured, there is still a lot of greenery out there, and berries and birds and things. So just keep your eyes peeled and look close. I was at the nature workshop at Sunbury Head, and was just a feather lion, and I just loved how the water droplets were on it. So I took a photo of it, and I have a thing with one of my pals that if I see a feather, I often send it to her because she lost somebody, and it always makes me think of people that you've lost. And when I see it in water, it does that as well. So this is a frozen crab claw. So you can see the ice. So it's just like bits and pieces that I found on the beach. This has been at Spiggy, and then I was sitting in the car guzzling some chai chili tea, and then watching this pretty starlings having a bath in the big puddle, and they were very entertaining. So I like this as well. This is another quote, and it's about sort of spring will come, but also the need that we do need the darkness, and when spring starts coming and summer, then everything feels fresh and new again. And then I suppose when winter comes in again, it feels I'm ready for it. Coming to the end of winter, I'm ready for spring, and then coming to the end of summer, I'm ready for winter. So yeah, I quite like things about seasons. Here's a clip. Oh, I think it's probably the first sea pink I maybe saw last year. There's the common violets. I love them. And I like looking into flowers because there's often a lot to see in flowers. It's sort of like going down a rabbit hole. Ocean States, have wit. That is Ryan Leith's quote, and I love it. Just have a bit of wit. So, and just have a bit of sense. Know your weather apps, know your wind directions, know your beaches, know your tides. There's a lot of stuff online about tides. I think the Immerse Hebrides, there's a link on there. You can do a thing. It's not that expensive, about tides and how they work and stuff. But there'll be stuff on YouTube as well. Speak to locals. Can't highlight that enough. Speak to locals. Get on selkies. Ask people. Just so you're safe. Swim. Yes, this is a good place to swim, and it's flat calm. It is very tricky to get into. It's down at Scatness, and to be honest, I would not go out by that chunky rock there. But yeah, on a day like that, beautiful. I've checked my tides, perfect. And don't swim on a day like this. Do not swim at Scatness. So that is basically have a bit of wit. I mean, this day I went to wave watch and I could hardly keep my feet. And at one point I was blinded with a skew coming out of the water. So just, yeah, have a bit of wit, and also have right clay so you'll freeze. This is me getting out the water at Ninians. There's a really wavy day, so there wasn't a lot of wind, but we'd had a lot of wind. So there was loads of swell. So you have to remember, just because it's no windy, there still might be lots of waves and things. So that's me kind of keeping an eye, a hint me that I'm not going to get basically flattened by a wave coming in. And often you have to time yourself getting in and out if there is a bit of swell on the go. This is a bad day in Shetland. Purple winds is not good. This is pretty much going to be Wednesday night coming, I think. I think this is maybe around Christmas Eve. So this is the windy app. This is how it looks. And I can actually visualize the wind and the wind state on it. Gives you swell heights and stuff. Magic Seaweed's another one. So yeah, that's just a few apps to use. So again, this is Yvonne. She likes to go over the waves. I like to go through them. So again, just go your own way, find what you like to do. If you get caught in a wave, you will absolutely get 360'd in it, in a big wave. So you either sort of need to catch it right to go over, or you have to go under the water and punch through it. So friends and family. I have a core tribe that I like to swim with, and you know who you are. It's great for socialising for all ages. Some folk just come for the cake and the social. It's healthy, it's fun. I've met loads of friends, tons of people that visit Shetland will message me and say, oh, can I come out to swim with you? I try and fit it in. Sometimes I pick them up and take them with me. There's a brilliant online community here and in Scotland. So just get online, investigate, do your research. This is my boys. They'll hate this because they're all like a lot older now. And my niece and my nephew, I often drag them around with me. This was with, maybe earlier in the year. Fire on the beach with some of the bairns, and me and Gillian and Yvonne just chilling. Even in winter, I'll go to the beach and have a fire if the forecast's kind of decent. This is my lot. They got, I mean, they probably say, yeah, it was good now, but they do get a bit fed up being dragged to the beach with me. But they've always been in the water as well. The boys, Joe's actually just set up an ice bath, which he's trying to go in every single morning at the moment. So that's what he likes to do. Absolutely not my bag, but yeah, whatever. This is Wes and Fettler swimming a lot earlier in the year. Ian was just coming out of lockdown actually. Andrew just came to cheer with me and Emma on. This was just going into winter this year. It was a Channel 4 programme. So there was a gang of us went to do some filming, which I think will be this year at some point. This is some of the folk that were up filming Shetland series. Now they're all taking their wetsuits because they're absolutely loving it when they come up so they can get outside. This just pictures some of the colours. So I don't think folk realise actually how colourful it is on the seabed and things. And just a quick chat about Mariel. You can't get a photo of it, or unless you've got a fancy camera. And I don't know who has that fancy camera, but I don't have it. You have to experience it, and I would say it's such a rare thing that something can't be on the TV or on a photo. You actually have to get out there and go into it. You do not have to go into the water, put your wellies on and just go along where the tide, like the water's just coming in and you can see the sparks there. And it is only available certain times a year. So yeah, just go for it. Don't be fair, and you need it to be somewhere that's dark, and it's usually better up this side of Shetland. Ian's west, yeah, mind to take a head torch or something.